Hey guys, how's it going? Glenn here, back with another weekly voiceover vlog. I think we're on vlog number 19 right now, so yeah, clipping right along. Anyways, real quick, first thing, I've been noticing looking back on some of these vlogs that my basic formula has been to look back on a week and sort of think of an experience that I had and sort of coalesce it down into just like one sort of philosophical life lesson of sorts. And I noticed that I start to tread a lot of the same ground. So in order to try and keep things fresh and keep things interesting and new, I think I'm going to focus more on just the specific experiences that I had of a previous week, rather than trying to come up with these general philosophical concepts to talk about all the time. So that's what we're going to do right now. So yeah, talking about last week. So my workload has really been picking up lately. I've been doing a lot of like micro jobs. By that I mean I'll get these jobs that are maybe like 50 to 60 words, pay around 10, 15, maybe $20 per script, and these tend to be work for a lot of like local commercials, radio commercials, commercials for very specific websites and stuff. I do a lot of advertisements for different colleges, some like smaller time artists on Spotify or events coming to play in local venues around the country and whatnot. And it's been keeping me busy. It's been pretty good. And really, right now, I could get into a huge discussion about voiceover rates and what are considered fair rates and fair compensation for the time you put in and your level of expertise. And I'm not even gonna, don't even get me started about like the union rates, because that's a whole other animal. But I could get into a huge discussion about that. But that's not really what I want to draw out of what I've been working on lately. So, like I said, a lot of the work pays me, maybe 10 to 15 bucks a pop, which it tends to be on the lower side of voiceover work. That would not be in line with what is considered the quote unquote the industry standard rates for voiceover. But I've been trying to think about, the rates I work from a more holistic perspective and not merely just, what is the work and how much do I get paid for said work, because there are a lot of other things that come into play. So when you're running your own business, you're really thinking all about how much your time is worth. Like, how I have 24 hours in a day, how can I best use that time to, maximize my profits and efficiency to keep my business growing and active and whatnot. And it's not just about, what I get paid for what jobs I do, because there are a lot of things you do that you don't get paid directly for, like a lot of the marketing you do, doing auditions for jobs. I mean, you could easily spend hours every week auditioning for work, and most of, if not all of which you're never going to get. And like me doing these voiceover vlogs, I like to do them. It's a bit of like, a bit of a marketing effort, because I like to, keep a presence up on YouTube and social media. But I'm obviously not getting paid right now for recording these voiceover vlogs that I do. So you're always thinking in the grand scheme of things how you're using your time efficiently to maximize profits and whatnot. And as far as these jobs that I've been doing last week, even though they don't pay a whole lot, they really make up for it in a number of other ways. So for one, I don't have to audition for these jobs. They just sort of come to me, and it's voluntary as well. So if I'm not available, it's not a ding against me if I can't step up and do it. Somebody else will just step up and take the job. And I'm in a position where I'm getting a lot of these jobs in a given day. So, it pays, if 10 to 15 bucks a pop, but you get 10 jobs like those in a given day. And I've gotten close to that. I've had opportunities to do that many jobs. I mean, you can easily make, 150, maybe even 200 bucks some days if you're really cranking them out. And for me, with my current cost of living, that's well above what I need to make to, if I was working that 40 hours a week in order to sustain my current monthly costs. And as far as the fact that I don't have to spend time looking for these jobs, for me, I'm willing to take a much lower rate for work if the work comes to me than if I have to spend hours, looking around, scouring for potential clients and jobs, and auditioning for work that I may never end up getting. Because like I said, if you try and figure out, based on your monthly earnings, how much you're making per hour of work every day, you can spend a lot of that time just auditioning for work and doing things that will never, guaranteed to see you a dollar. But yeah, if I end up doing something that is of lower pay, but I don't have to audition for it, if it just comes to me and I don't have to spend valuable time searching for it that I could be spending, doing other things that actually pay, then in my mind, that's a win. And I just try, think about things holistically like that. So another thing, so I got a friend who's doing a summer camp this summer, and I can't remember exactly what rate she told me she works. But as a camp, she's not a camp counselor. She's doing something else. But basically, you're on call for 24 hours, and if you average out your pay over 24 hours, it's below minimum wage. It's not, it's not great. And you don't go to be a summer camp counselor for the money per se. I mean, you do it for the experience. You do it because you enjoy it. But nothing I was thinking about is, maybe the job itself doesn't pay a whole lot, but you don't have to pay for any of your meals. I mean, you just go to the mess hall every time with the kids every time they're eating. You don't have to pay for your room and board while you're there. You get a cab and you get set up there. I assume if there's Wi-Fi, you're not having to pay for that. So even though the actual paycheck you take home, it may not be that big, you're getting so many benefits in these other ways that if you put it all together, it's a much better deal than if you just consider it based on the price tag. So yeah, trying to keep things in perspective that way. Other thing last week, I've been doing a lot more learning, taking a lot of online courses. There's a great website I found a while ago called Udemy, which I've done a lot of courses on there now. And basic format is if you're an expert in a field, you can create like a video series of instructions about how to, perform in a given field. So they got things for everything. I mean, graphic design, voiceover, obviously, marketing. It's just any kind of skill that you would want to learn. There are experts in that field who will upload their videos to this site that you can pay a small fee for and get a couple hours worth of content and learn stuff. And I've been learning so much stuff from that site. It's been a great resource for me. So I found a course I've been working through right now recently on how to use freelance sites. I've been taking a course on how to build a successful YouTube channel, seeing how I can take these weekly vlogs that I do and see if maybe I can make something bigger of that someday, and a couple other courses that I'm looking at as well. A lot of like social media marketing courses and whatnot. And if anyone watching is interested, I'd be happy to share. I'll share some of those in the description, some of the courses that I've been doing. And then on top of the Udemy courses, I continue to take my voice acting 201 class, which has been going on since beginning of June. We'll be wrapping up at the end of this month. But that continues to just open my mind in all sorts of new ways and adds new dimensions to voiceover performance that I never would have even considered otherwise had I not partaken in this course. So yeah, that's been a real eye-opener. And I've looked back at some of like my old auditions that I've done for other projects even months ago, and listening back and just listening to it and thinking, man, I was such an amateur back then. Like so many things I wasn't privy to and keeping in mind as far as like my performance and even like distance to the mic. I was, having all these kind of plosives and whatnot and extraneous sounds that I could avoid if I just had better microphone discipline. And yeah, just wild to look back at, even just a few months ago, how far you can come, how much you can learn in just a short period of time. So that's been a great journey. And then lastly, so I mentioned, I think it was last week, that I've been working on I've been part of a Fallout 4 modding project for a long time called Sim Settlements Conqueror. And just this last week, I finally finished the vanilla story of Fallout 4, which I really enjoyed. The game came out, I think, back in 2015, 2016. I don't remember. Never really dove into it until about a couple weeks ago. And I had heard some mixed reviews about the game and about the vanilla story. But I really enjoyed it for what it was. I came in with fairly low expectations, and I just had a really great time with it. So now that I'm done with the main story, I've started to delve into the modding side of it and seeing what the community has to offer to beef up my gameplay and whatnot. So spent a good chunk of my weekend playing around with some of those, looking at different armor variants, weapons you can pick up, tweaks to core gameplay, mechanics and whatnot, and hoping to have another fun time, playing through that again and seeing what the community has to offer. And maybe someday I'll even play through my own mods that I've been working on. And I guess I'll tease one thing here real quick. So this is still very in the works. I'm probably not going to make any formal announcements until much later on if this gets off the ground. But I have been brainstorming about doing a streaming series of a Let's Play thing, either on Twitch or on YouTube, about Fallout 4. And so that's still very early stages. I've been chatting with some of the other folks on my modding team who've also been very receptive to the idea. And it's still sort of taking form exactly what that is going to be, but there's a good chance like by the end of the year sometime or early next year I end up taking a stab at that. So that's going to be very exciting. So I'll be sure to advertise more of that when it gets closer to when that actually is coming out. So yeah, that's about all I did last week. Wow, we're at about 10 minutes. This one might be one of the longer videos that I've done. But yeah, that's about my last week, and looking forward to what's coming up this upcoming week. So That's about it. All right, take care, everyone. God bless. I'll see you next week.